Kristine, remember when you were a kid and you thought that your career was going to be this like perfect straight line trajectory?
Oh my, yes. That is not at all what happened. It ended up being way more of a squiggle than I could have ever imagined. And I am so happy that I embraced all of the squiggles along the way.
So, welcome back, everybody, to the Embrace the Squiggle podcast. We are so excited to be here today. We are Colleen
and Kristine.
And this is
and
episode
Anita.
89. Yes, with Anita Costello. We are so excited to have everyone here today. So I'm having internet issues today, so I'm going to be just a fly on the wall, and I'm going to let Kristine take the lead today, because otherwise you're all going to be annoyed with Kristine and I constantly interrupting each other because I am lagging. So Anita, I'm going to start off with how we're connected, and then I'm going to pass it off to Kristine. So Anita and I met when I went to an art fair with my daughter, a really big one here on the East Coast, and we ran into your booth. It was one of the first ones we saw, and my daughter instantly fell in love with your pocketbooks. And then we both fell in love with your clothes and your pocketbooks and wanted to buy it all. And my daughter somehow convinced me to buy her yet another expensive pocketbook, which she carries with her all the time. And you and I got to talking, and I heard your story, and I thought, oh, she definitely needs to be on our podcast, right? This is someone who's had a really good squiggly career. And for those of you who listen every week, we have another person who is from the graphic design industry. So with that, Anita, I'd love to start with, what did you think you wanted to be when you were a little kid?
You know what? I don't know if I really thought about it. But my mother was a nurse, so I thought maybe I would kind of move in that direction. But my mother was also very much into fashion, and she would make a lot of her own clothes. She was always buying me pretty dresses. And so I somehow thought I could possibly combine the two. But as I got older, I realized so much.
Love it. When did you discover you were creative, like your creative side?
Oh gosh. It later. I never considered myself creative until probably high school. And I would start to dabble with, I can't really, I'm not like an illustrator, but I would dabble. I remember getting something in the mail from a boutique, and I spent the entire afternoon coloring in this, it was a woman dressed in like bell bottoms and everything. And I think that was kind of the beginning of me starting to think, hey, maybe I do have some creativity. I was with my older brother. He was the creative one. He was always taking the art classes. I was into gym. I loved sports and things like that. So that's kind of who I thought I was. But that was, I think, when it began to open up for me.
And where did that lead you to in terms of post-secondary?
So I loved writing. And actually, I wrote a lot of poetry growing up, and decided that I was going to be a journalism major. From there, though, I decided, well, I think I want to do photojournalism. From there, I thought, well, I want to do photography. And from there, it led to apparel design. And so I was a journalism major for 2 years, and took an amazing color theory class that the professor, actually was instrumental in me transitioning into apparel design, because I would take whatever I learned from the class and I would apply it to what I wore. And he was always complimenting my color choices and my outfits. And he just said to me one day, have you ever thought of being a fashion designer? And I thought, you can major in that? Yes, you can. And he walked me down to the art library, and he pulled out a book and showed me a couple of schools. And so I picked one, and that's what I did. I went back to school. I transferred from journalism into fashion, and that's where I got my degree.
Love it. And what was your first job out of college, university?
This is hilarious, because one thing that they taught us in, and I appreciate it, they taught us in school is and I hope this doesn't come across the wrong way, but they were going to make you snobs, but in a good way. That like you're going to look at a garment and be able to tell if it's quality or not. And even to this day, I walk in the store and I look at seams and I look at finishes and things like that. But I remember just kind of absorbing that so much that I remember walking up and down Michigan Avenue in Chicago, going into like these high-end boutiques saying, "Hey, I want to be your creative director."
I love it. Did you grant? Did you land?
No, I mean, they were some kind to me. None of them laughed at me,
No.
but
Well, that's
that
super old.
that's I look back and I am hysterical that I did that, but I finally got a job as a visual merchandiser for a company. And I don't know if this manufacturer is still around. It's called Hart, Schaffner and Marks. And they were a producer of men's suits, and they wanted to branch out, and they opened this one chain of stores called Baskin Clothing Company. So I landed a job there as a visual merchandiser. I had a partner, and we were assigned 4 stores. And so what I did, I would travel throughout the week to the different stores, redoing the different departments when they got new merchandise in, redoing the windows with the old mannequins. I learned how to strike mannequins. I got plunked in the head multiple times with arms that would fall off.
Love it.
But yeah, it was great. So that was my first job out of school.
And then where did you squiggle to?
And then squiggled from Chicago to Boston. And I, thought, "Oh, I will go to Boston and I will become a visual merchandiser in Boston." But I got here and I realized that the industry was not as large as Chicago. And I had to work. I had to pay rent and feed myself. So I thought I did office work when I was in college. I always had a job when I was in college. So I'll just go back to that until I can find something. And so that's what I did. I just started doing administrative work and just kind of got stuck there. So from there, I went back to school for graphic design.
And where are you now today?
So now my full-time job is as a graphic designer. My brand is my passion project that I am working very hard to make it my full-time job. But so I do both, but the graphic design has served me so well as far as I design my own logo. I do all my collateral. I don't have to resource that out. And it's just helped me with, the social media posting. It's given me the eye that I need. I believe it's really helped me with proportion and being able to design silhouettes. I think that fit well on the body.
Amazing. So tell us about your business, the business that Colleen stumbled across.
So, okay, where do I start? I can't remember what I told you, Colleen, but I just like I say, I was an admin, but there was just something in me. I just felt like I was settling, and all the time I was trying to find something in the fashion industry, and it never worked out. So I would just, go from job. I'd stay a couple of years, and then I'd get another job. And then I did go back to school for graphic design, but then I started my family. I have 2 beautiful daughters. They're adults now, but I wanted to be around them more than I wanted to work. So I always took a part-time job to, so that I could be around them, be there for them. But, when you take a part-time job, it impacts your career. So I never really got to take off in a position. And my husband, who's also an artist, had gone to, I think it was Colorado. Yeah, he had won. He's an illustrator. He's a coin designer. And a little side note, he's the one that designed, I don't know if you know the font papyrus, but he is the one that designed the font papyrus. And that's my husband. But he was, we get a lot of, I don't know, joy from it. A lot of people love it. A lot of people don't love it, but he's also an artist, and he'd gone to a sculpting workshop and he loved it. And he came back and he kept telling me, "You've got to find your passion." He knew I wasn't happy where I was at, so he kept saying, "You've got to find your passion. You've got to find your passion." So I thought, okay, I'm going to give this one more shot. Will you convert our garage into a working studio? Well, he said yes. So he did. And that's where I started. But I'm going to tell you, I had no idea what I was doing. I was totally clueless, but excited to be, moving in that direction.
I love it. I love it. Just highlighting the power of community and support. And right? Like you need the right people in your corner for sure. So what has come about from this transition of the garage?
So the transition, I started out on making, I just wanted to do something simple. I love simplicity, and that's what my brand is all about, with a little funkiness to it. So I started out with some basic tunics that I made, and I had been speaking actually with a boutique owner 2 years prior to me even launching, just to kind of get some feedback. What direction should I go in? What should I do? So she would meet me. I would buy her lunch. I would pick her brain, and she would answer my questions. And I think she was even the one that suggested, you want what you do to have something unique about it. And she said, fabrication or something like that, like bamboo. And I went, oh, great. So that's the direction that I went. Even though my styles are minimal, I try to make the fabrication quality. I don't know if you know anything about bamboo, but it's one of the most amazing fabrics out there. So a lot of my spring, summer styles I make out of bamboo. And and then my bag came about. That's a different story that Colleen's daughter loves. It came about when I was trying to trademark my name. So Biita was not my first name. Baka was my first name. And what I loved about Baka, it was about a journey, because I felt like I was on this journey. And I went to trademark it, and a wine company in California had beat me to it by a month. Yes. So I thought, oh, okay, what am I going to do? It took me a year of trying to find a new name. When I would land on one, it was already taken. So I finally landed on, it was Beat and Bita and Biita, Bida. And Bida means world, and Bita means unique. So I decided to go with the Bita for 2 reasons: unique, and it rhymes with my name because my dad used to call me Anita Nabita. So I decided to go, with that. And so the bag came about. This is an interesting story, because I was interested in doing like a capsule collection, and I wanted to create a kind of a weekender bag that you could just put everything in and go. But when I got into it, like I said, I didn't know what I was doing in the very beginning. I didn't know that there were classifications for trademark for apparel versus bags versus shoes. Like I said, I didn't know anything. But when I talked to the lawyer, they said, well, you can apply and just say that you are pre-commerce, and then you can produce something and then reapply in commerce. Because money was so tight, I said, well, what can I do so that one shot, I don't have to do a 2-step process? And she says, you just need a bag. I said, just one? She said, yes, just one. So I said, okay. I spent the weekend scouring the internet, found something that I loved, made it, my label on it, pictures, put it on the website, and reached out to the lawyer and said, okay, it's up. Now you can file.
I love it. And that's the thing. This is your entrepreneurial journey, and so many people think it's more complicated than it really has to be.
I find, for me anyway, and I used to say it, not so much anymore, but you don't know what you don't know. And it's a constant learning journey. You're always learning something new. And you always have to, and having to implement things that you didn't know would be a part of your journey. But I just I just keep going forward. It's like I just try not to let those things stop me. And I may not know every aspect of what I'm doing, but I keep moving forward. And as I continue to move forward, I learn and I grow. And it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense now. And then it just leads me somewhere else and then somewhere else.
Absolutely. I there's a line that I used in my TEDx, and I think it's really fitting in terms of just my own journey in the entrepreneurial world. And you have to say yes to things in order to
Yes,
know what you're going to say yes and no to. And
correct.
whether
Absolutely.
it's like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
out, and that's okay. Now I know that I can say no to that, and and that it moves you in a different direction. I'm curious to hear more about the journey that you were on. You said a couple minutes you said I was on a journey. I'm curious as to what kind of a journey you were on while you were launching a business in your garage.
So the journey that I was on was, how can I express this? It was a journey of learning how to be an entrepreneur. I realized when I was in school, like I said, they taught us a lot, but they didn't teach us the business side. And what I've learned is that is so much of a part of the journey. I know. I always say things like I say, my brand is 80/20. I strive to be sustainable, and I don't believe you can fully be 100% sustainable, but I say 80% yes, 20. And still, I think when it comes to design, the journey is 20/80. And my husband's like, you spend so much time at that computer. And I said, that's the business. So I said, design, as much as I love it, and the photo shoots, it's only 20% of the business. The other 80% is sourcing fabric, it's working with a pattern maker, it's finding the right factory, it's shipping, it's packaging, it's that so much of the journey of what it takes to run a business. And so that when I say a journey, it's just going from where I started to wanting to see um, my business thrive and be successful. And you're, an entrepreneur. You make a lot of mistakes along the way,
With
a lot of mistakes. But I love what you said about, you just show up. You just keep moving forward, even though you've made mistakes. I mean, I've had times where I'm thinking, okay, what am I doing? Why am I doing this to myself? And of course, you also mentioned the support. My husband is so incredibly supportive, and he just has to say one thing, and it just helps me pick myself up and just keep going. And the great thing is, I'm starting to see traction. After several years of what am I doing wrong? I was working with a personal coach who I said, I need you to help me break the cycle of insanity. I can't keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. I need to do something different because I need some different results. And she's really helped me do that. So the booth that you saw, Colleen, was a product of me working with her and her helping me to just level up my presence and in every way possible.
Yeah. It makes such a difference, in terms of, again, it's the community, it's the support. I know that's been a focus for me in the last even just 3 to 5 months. Colleen has definitely played a role. She's brought a lovely group of women who are all, some of us are 100% entrepreneurs, some of us are
Oh,
wanting to make that transition. And
right. Yeah.
I always walk away with one or two little nuggets or gems or reminders. Like, even a lot of stuff is just a reminder. And it's a reminder that I actually kind of know what I'm doing. And yet I need those little reminders that, oh, yeah, I am on the right track. And oh, yeah,
Right.
good idea for me to do. Or, I mean, now that we're in the world of AI. And so walking away with just like a prompt or something that, helps me
Yes.
moves the needle on something. And it's so important to have that. Just, I mean, I can't, this is not the first conversation that I've said this, is building that community of people. And the other piece too is knowing that that community, or that, whatever you want to call it, community, supporters, board of directors, they change. The people sitting at your change.
You're right. Yes.
Okay to say, ooh, this person isn't supportive, or isn't quite in alignment, or whatever it is. I need to go out and find somebody that's going to support me in this arena. And
Yes.
it's women and women entrepreneurs. And I personally had a consulting gig that took up a lot of my time, that I shut down about 5, maybe 3 to 6 months ago. I can't even remember now. Time's a blur. And now I'm really focusing in on certain things that to drive my business forward. And I know it's going to take some time, but really making sure that I'm calling in the right people.
Right. Right. Can I ask questions? Can I be a part of the?
Gosh, absolutely. Ask away.
So other than that, like, what do you find helps support you and drive you forward? I guess internally.
Internally? Ooh,
Yes.
well, I've always been driven. So,
Okay.
well, when I get an idea, whether it's a good idea or not a good idea, I'm not afraid to explore it and try it on.
Okay. Okay.
Have conversations, even when things come my way. There was a time where I would explore, say, speaking opportunities. And so then
Mhm.
oh, look at all these wonderful speaking opportunities, and they want me to pay money. And it's like, no, that's, and building the confidence to say
Right.
no. Or,
Right.
but just being open to exploring. And there's been a few things that have been pleasant surprises.
Okay.
Not being afraid to throw my hat in the ring.
Right.
Like, I kind of have this, I'm going to try and get us an R rating here, but kind of just giving 0 fucks. Like, I'm just going to try this.
Right.
And I know Colleen's laughing here. Poor thing's on mute. But really, like, honestly, when I've gone into something with that kind of frame of mind of like, what
Right.
I
Right.
land, whatever it is,
Yes.
throwing my hat in, because I'm not
Yeah.
attached, or I'm not getting in my own way, or I'm not talking myself out of it. It's like,
Right.
sure, whatever, here you go.
Right.
I think there's an element of that, of not being afraid to take a risk.
I love that. And I love what you said about building confidence. And because I think I would have to say this journey has helped me, and there are many components to it, but it's helped develop my character and be
Okay.
able to say to someone, no, that's not going to work for me, or no, I don't want that, So I totally agree with you with that.
And the other piece too is, and I have to really watch this, and I caught myself being in this frame of mind last week, is scarcity versus abundance. And
Okay, what do you mean?
well, when I start to get into a scarcity mindset, I feel like I close doors.
Mhm.
And when I can be in a more of an abundant mindset and know that whatever is, it's kind of cliche, meant to be is meant to be. Like, I've had conversations with
Mhm.
organizations where, we've talked about coaching, gigs, contracts, proposals, all that, and it hasn't moved forward. And just being very mindful that I don't let the negative self-talk,
Right.
rather be like, you know what? This is, even if I had landed this gig, it probably, there's a reason why I didn't land it, and whatever
Right.
that reason
Right.
or no. But being okay with the no's, because rejection is
Yeah,
redirection.
that's true. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what my husband helps me with.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had to learn that. I've really had to, like, and be okay with that, and just know that something else will come around the corner, or just allowing for
Yeah.
that sit, so that an opportunity, or, meeting somebody, or having a conversation, or whatever it might be. But
Right.
yeah, it's like entrepreneurship. Like it's hard. Like it's
Yeah. Yeah.
hard.
I have a printout that I kind of look at. I try put things that inspire me, but it's a dotted line and it chops from failure, 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 success. And I
Yeah.
think if they had stopped at, the failure right before the success, they never would have seen the success. And I love what you say about accepting. And I think I've grown to understand that everything's not going to be a home run. Like you said, I'm not going to knock it out of the park, um, you know, every time. And, like you said, I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to take a chance. And sometimes it's surprising and sometimes it's disappointing, but those surprising moments are really, really great.
Yeah. And there's always a lesson, there's
Yes.
always a lesson in, okay, what did I learn in that conversation? Did I stay true to myself? And that's one thing I've really I'm not going to pretzel and say all the right things to a potential opportunity
Mm,
when it doesn't feel authentic.
right.
I'm supposed, and then I'm going to have to show up and be all the things that I said. And it's like,
Right.
if it's not in alignment and I can tell that somebody wants something different, it's like, no, this is the
Right.
right fit. This
Yeah.
isn't going to, I'm not going to be given the playground to
Right.
play, show up and be who I'm supposed to be.
Right.
And I've certainly had a number in the last 4.5 years in terms of no, this is not what I want to do. And this is not
Right.
in alignment. And less is more sometimes. It's like you
Just
don't
what Beach is about.
less is more. It's like, hey, right now my coaching business is off the charts thriving. And I know those engagements are there's an ebb and a flow. And when it starts to ebb, something else will present itself, whatever that might be. Um, but yeah, it's a journey. And
Yeah.
we trade any of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's certainly a journey for sure.
Yeah.
I just wanted to before we kind of move to close this beautiful conversation, are you still with Leslie University?
I am. Yes. Yeah.
Just a little bit about what you're doing with Leslie University.
I am in the marketing department and I work as their graphic designer. Just doing mailers and what are some cool things I'm doing? Well, they go out to like college fairs, so I'll do like the pull-ups for things like that, and then I do digital the screens across the campus
Cool.
for events that we have. So yeah, so I'm the graphic designer.
I love it. Colleen, do we want to introduce Anita to our friend Michelle and her platform for women-owned businesses?
Michelle was one of our guests a couple of months ago, but she runs a thing called Feel Good Shop Local. And so it's an online shopping
Oh.
site that she always says it's like being able to shop Amazon, but from local small businesses. That makes sense.
Oh,
So
oh, nice.
we'll connect
I
you with
like
Michelle.
that.
So another plug
Thank
for
you.
Feel Good Shop Local.
Yes.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. You need to meet our Michelle. She's so lovely. She's so
Okay, very good. Very good.
once we get our little projects off the ground with. Okay. So before we wrap up here, what would you like our listeners to know? What are your words of wisdom?
Oh my goodness. Well, I think so much of what Biita is for is I want to inspire women to know that it doesn't take a lot to look nice and to feel good in your own skin. And that again, my pieces are very minimal, but they're designed that way so that you can dress them up or dress them down. You could wear a pair of cute sneakers with them, or you could put on a pair of dressy sandals with them and still be wearing the same tunic or the same dress. And just, I like to say, life is complicated. What you choose to wear doesn't have to be. So, it's just about, I think being intentional and just being calm as you go through your day and feel good. I know when I am wearing something that makes me feel like who I am and more comfortable, and I'm more confident in my skin. So I would just want to encourage women to find that vibe in their lives, and because it makes such a difference on a daily basis.
And I know for me, when I put something on and it doesn't feel good, that's my moment to pass it along to someone else.
Yes, yes.
There's definitely a difference. Okay, I super love that. Okay, we're gonna close now with fun questions to
All
get
right.
a little more insight into who you are. My first question is, what color brings you joy?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. How fitting. How
Wow.
fitting.
I think it's if you look in my closet, you would see a lot of black. I tend to wear a lot of black. But I do love the color that I'm wearing, like a persimmon.
Yeah.
Brings me joy. And I love my brand color, which is a plum. I think that's such a beautiful, stunning color.
I'm a purple and a plum. I do love that.
Ah, there you
Love that.
go. You know that's third eye. You know that, right?
Oh,
That little-
no.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
my spiritual side? Oh my gosh, we could keep this conversation going because I'm so woo. I know. I've been seeing 333. I woke up at 3:33 and I've seen 333 on all of our recordings today in a various different forms. So I'm gonna have to go and consult ChatGPT and ask it what I'm supposed to know. But that'll come later. Anyways, where's your favorite place on earth?
Oh my goodness. That is a good question. If I have a favorite, well, no, I just step back. Let's just say Italy.
Ooh, Italy.
Yeah, yeah. We got to go a couple of years ago. My niece got married over there, and we fell in love with the place. So, coming from an art background, it was so amazing to actually see in person so many of the art pieces that we only studied about and looked at in books. So it was amazing. We got to go to Pompeii. I could go on and on and on. So I would
Yeah.
say Italy. Yeah.
So well, I was looking at flights to Portugal this morning. Anyway, I know. I might be recording podcasts from Portugal. But I'll let
Sure.
my co-host
I
know
hear
that on.
really. I hear it's beautiful there.
Oh,
Absolutely.
there's something, and I've been chewing on it for quite some time. So we'll
Really.
think I can make it happen. Spontaneous.
Wow.
Worst piece of advice that you have been given?
Worst piece of advice. I can't really think of any bad advice. Because I take what people say and I process it, and like someone will tell me, so for example, my first dresses, tunics, I did 80, and I did, a size range, and a rep said, well, some of them aren't going to sell, so you may not want to do that. And I thought, what is he? He did it anyway.
For you.
So I tend to listen to what people say, but then I go, well, I'm going to try it anyway. So I tend because it didn't work for them doesn't mean it's not going to work for me. So that's
Oh my God, that might be our quote, Colleen. Honestly, like that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
It's just because it didn't work for you doesn't mean that it's like the gospel.
Yes, yeah. So
I actually have done things when people tell me no, I'm just like, oh yeah, really? I'll show you. I have some stories where I have totally done that. I'm just like, whatever.
right.
I love it. Did you sell the sizes?
I sold some, and then I upcycled the others. Yeah, yeah. So I was able to. Yeah.
Oh, I like your style, Anita. I think there's more like fire than you're actually letting us see today.
I know. I have to tamper it.
Do you have a book recommendation? Either one that you're reading or one that's inspired you, or just that you just simply enjoyed it. It doesn't always have to be self-growth.
Wow. I read a lot, multiple books, anywhere from the Bible to a friend of mine did a fantasy book that I absolutely love. But I think the one that I want to land on, I just got, it's called, and let me see, it's called Metabolic Freedom. And it's all about how, and I love it because I feel like it aligns with, kind of my holistic approach to good health. But it just talks about how our bodies are amazing instruments, and what we can do to take care of them and to help our metabolism, and just to, because we live in toxicity, and we want to just get all of that out as best as we can. So I would say it's called Metabolic Freedom by Ben Azadi is his name. And so that's been a good one that I've been kind of diving into.
Yeah, I know I'm in that chapter of understanding my
Yeah.
metabolism.
Yeah, so it is absolutely amazing. Yeah, you just how your body, when you do intermittent fasting, how your body repairs itself just by going without food for an extended period of time. It's mind blowing.
Really? Because
Yeah.
my understanding was that intermittent fasting actually slowed your metabolism.
No, it does no. I think it's not so much the intermittent fasting, it's the the extreme calorie reduction. I think that because then your body goes into starvation mode. So with the intermittent fasting, you definitely want to be eating high quality fats. Fat is not the enemy.
No.
Yeah. So you want to be consuming high quality fats so that you're getting the caloric intake that you need, but you are just giving your digestive system a rest.
Oh my gosh. What a squiggly conversation.
Good.
Here we go. Just keep chatting here. I love it. Okay, I might have to do a little bit of reading on that one.
But yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. You're fascinating. There's lots. There's lots going on here. But that's what we love about our podcast. So, Anita, if our listeners wanted to find you out there in the world of social, where can they find you?
So I have a website. It is biita.co, BIITA.co, not .com. Also, I'm on Instagram with the same handle, and Facebook. I think Facebook may be Biita styled. And so yeah, that you could check me out there. But I also wanted to, I emailed Colleen, like, is it okay? I just wanted to offer people a discount that listen to this this podcast. Yeah, you just go to my website, and if you type in the code Squiggle,
I love it. Okay. I might have to buy something. Okay, amazing. We will share that code. Oh my gosh. Colleen, it's like we're doing partnerships now. How exciting. Yes. I love it. Okay. Thank you, Anita. This has been a beautiful conversation, and I am going to speak on behalf of my lovely co-host and let you all know that this episode has been brought to you by Maxity, where they are reshaping how individuals and businesses thrive, using their strengths to achieve their highest goals through training and executive coaching. So if today's conversation has sparked something for you, an idea, a question, maybe a little nudge to try something new, we would love to hear about it. So drop us a message on Instagram or LinkedIn or TikTok. That's what Embrace the Squiggle is all about, showing up for the messy, nonlinear parts of our career, get out together.
Very good.
Thank you for joining us today, and we will make sure our listeners have the code to image of your beautiful product. Of course, we'll introduce you to Michelle as well.
Awesome.
Their platform for you to be selling.
Very good. And I thank you so much for having me. I very much appreciate it. And Colleen, tell your daughter I am so thrilled that she loves her bag.
Yeah. Well, it's our pleasure. So thank you. Thanks, Anita. Thanks, Colleen.
Thanks, everyone.
Is it
time for you to add a little squiggle to your career? Join us every week to hear from another guest talk about how they embrace the squiggle.
Subscribe now and find your inspiration.